Welcome to the Buffs, EJ Horton, going from one herd to the next. We're happy to have you here. Coach Prime, the rest of the staff have secured another wide receiver transfer in Marshall's EJ Horton. 6 feet, about 170 pounds, with a lot of speed. So he's going to be another deep addition to this wide receiver room, and it's going to be talented. The competition is going to be fierce, and I'm excited to see who's going to rise to the top. Of course, we kind of have our main three guys that have been recruited with Xavier Weaver, Travis Hunter, Jimmy Horn. We can all kind of agree on that those will be probably the most featured wide receivers at the top. But I mean, outside of that, it's up for grabs. I would say Willie Gaines is probably one of the favorites, but we'll just have to see how this all shakes out. Now, as Brian Howell pointed out on Twitter earlier today, he was somebody that Sean Lewis was trying to get to join his Kent State team when he was recruiting him in 2020. And what's great is that not only is EJ Horton coming to the Buffs, he gets to work with Sean Lewis, and again, 2 years of eligibility left. We're continuing to bring in transfers that have eligibility that's going to help with continuity and continuing to build from this year on to the next. So very excited about that. Couple things I do want to point out about Horton. One, he was kind enough to screen record and cut up his own game film that he posted on Twitter. So we'll go ahead and take a look at that here in just a minute. And I can highlight some of the things that I really liked about watching this. But also, I noticed when I was looking at the splits from this past year at Marshall, he started to get more playing time in November. And about 80% of his production came within sets in which the Marshall offense was in between their own 20 and 39. And I think that's great. Shows that he can be a field stretcher. Of course he is with that speed. Want to utilize him in space. But I'm hoping that Sean Lewis will continue to grow his game more to where, for instance, in between the 40s, that's a great time to take some deep shots. He would be another guy that we would want on the field along with the rest of the speedsters. So those are a couple things I wanted to point out. And again, like you can see, what we're building on offense is just depth of speed. So even if we need that next man up, we're not losing speed. We're still going to have speed no matter what's going on. Or if we need to sub somebody out because they're a little gassed, we still got speed. So let's go ahead and dive into this. Looking forward to seeing what you have to say, Buffs fans. Let's do it. All right, you'll see him here at the bottom. Really clean route right there to get behind the defender. Too bad the throw wasn't on target, but he's still able to take it to the house nonetheless. And you'll continue to see this again on the bottom here. Able to make a contested catch. He has very clean routes. And later on in this film, one thing that I think is great is that you'll see him on special teams making some tackles. So I think Trevor Reilly has to be very happy about this as well, that we're getting a guy that can return and all of that, but also he can be used as a gunner, let's say, on punt coverage. He's a tough guy. You saw him just take that hit over the middle. Or he can be on kickoff coverage as well, getting downfield to make tackles. And so I think, if the spring game is any short little lens into what's going on with special teams, I think we need as much special teams players and talent as we can get. Again, here's another kickoff coverage where he comes from the opposite side of the field to make that tackle right there. Again, showing speed. When you got speed on kickoff and punt coverage, that's important. See, he's able to get around the screen a little bit there. And again, the majority of his production came within that spot between their own 20 and 39 yard line, used as a field stretcher. I think it was about 150 so of his 185 yards last year came from plays in that location. So overall, I'm very excited to see how he develops. He had offers from Power 5, G5, and FCS schools. So a lot of guys are going after him, and I think that he'll be a great fit here. Let me know what you think, and Sco Buffs.